Okay, good afternoon. It's John McLaughlin. Right, let me tell you, just before we get started with this session, currently it's the 11th of December 2023, and I've been plagued with internet connectivity problems. What a nightmare. Let me tell you, when you're running an online business or you're doing trading online, it's just a nightmare. And there's only 3 problems why that's been caused. Just 3. Okay, 3 problems, 3 reasons. Okay, let's leave it at that. So we're currently the 11th of December. The connectivity issue started on Thursday afternoon, and it's carried on. Even now, it's still ongoing. I've had to get a separate connectivity on a different network provider. Anyway, so we're back and we're trading the Crossfire strategy, and we're currently doing Euro CAD, Euro USD, GBP CAD, and GBP USD. And let's just walk you through what's happened over the last few days. So let's have a look at EuroCAD. So EuroCAD, let's have a look. So what I like to do, obviously I like to look at the imbalance, find out if that imbalance is still relevant or not. Because obviously if you have too much imbalance all over your charts, you want to keep your charts nice and clean. So this is imbalance from previously. So this is from, if you look at the little tag just down below, the 6th of December, Wednesday. So just before we run out of internet. So Wednesday the 6th, we'll take that off because that's now been mitigated. And pretty much all of the imbalance on here has all been mitigated. All right. And yeah, all that as well. When I say mitigated, you get imbalance and then the price then comes up and then it takes it out. Okay, so it rebalances the market, so it mitigates it in that it's rebalanced it. Let's take that out as well. Right, so what do we get in terms of, what's this up here? This is 1745. So if we look at our 1300 session on Thursday, you can see that price would have gone up. So potentially we could have had a nice trade there if we were connected. So 1745, 6 o'clock in the evening. So 5 hours if you want to stay in the trade for 5 hours. It's up to you. Okay. Let's see what else we've got on here. We've got the 1 o'clock candle, which is there. Okay, 1 o'clock, as I said, there's always news comes in at 1:30, particularly on a Friday, always really volatile. And as you can see, what's happened here is that price has shot down and then price has come back up again, and then it's kind of gone a little bit sideways, and then it's kind of done this. Okay, and like I said, you know, if you've got high impact news, that's a really good it's what the banks and the financial institutions hide behind, and as you can see here, they took price all the way down and back up again. Now what the banks look to do is they look to take out stop losses, because the banks can see everyone's stop loss. We can't see them, retail traders can't see them, but the banks can, and they use that to their advantage, and they liquidate the market to get the liquidity out and then take the price where they want to go, and that's what's happened. So the thing is, if you were looking at this, I mean, you wouldn't really be, I mean, Friday afternoon you probably wouldn't be in a trade, but if you were, and your stop losses were up here, okay, or even down here, okay, they've taken price down, way down, and back up again. But you know, you wouldn't ordinarily be in a trade on a Friday afternoon before we've got high impact news. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, so yeah, you just don't want to be anywhere around news. Okay, so this is the Euro USD, similar situation on Friday, and then obviously we're now over the weekend and we're into Monday afternoon. All right, so we're just gonna wait and see what happens for that. GBP CAD, again, similar situation with Friday afternoon. And what have we got in terms of, we've got all this imbalance up here. We'll take this out, that's all gone. And again, any sort of points of interest, I mean, those points of interest will always be points of interest. It's a bit like when you put what do you call them? You can put Fibonacci's on there, or you can put, it's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of, oh, come on, John. This is what happens when you've not been connected for a while. Pitchforks, thank you. It's when you put your pitchfork on. Okay, those lines of support and resistance will always be relevant. Okay, and these will as well. These are the blue ones are what I've put on, and they'll always be relevant. But you know, you want to keep your chart nice and clean, and I think we'll just take them off. We'll take them off for now. And obviously the orange lines, they're the pitchforks. Sorry, let me, God's sake. Right, the pivots. Okay, the orange lines are the pivots, and they just come as part of a little plugin you can have on pivots. Okay, as part of a indicator you can get it for free. Put it on, and all I do with the pivots is they're straight out the box, and I use traditional pivots. Okay, you can use all sorts of different things, but traditional ones I use, and I always have S1, S2, and S3 checked on there. I did start just with S1 and S2, but sorry, S1 and R1, but it didn't really give me enough information because price was swinging. So that's what I do that. Right, let's have a quick look at GBP USD. Again, similar story all the way. Look at this. I mean, price went to there and then shot all the way down, okay, and then shot all the way back up again, okay, and then went to the downside, okay, but you know, you probably wouldn't have been in that. So this is imbalance, so we'll take the imbalance out. We'll take out these. We'll take out everything. Start from scratch. Okay. Right. So Euro CAD on the 15-minute time frame. Let's see see if we've got any imbalance. And obviously we've got imbalance here, so we can put that on. And you can see, to create imbalance, what you want is a gap between the first and third candle, right? Which is there. So that wick and this wick down here. Okay, I put the cog. I have a little setting that just says imbalance. Just gives me a bit of a visual, bit of text on it. That's that. Okay, a little bit. We've got any imbalance there. A little bit of imbalance there from this wick here. See this candle? Okay, bottom of that wick, which is just on the 200 moving average, just to the top of this green wick here. So we'll put that on. And you can get indicators to highlight imbalance, but to be quite honest with you, once you've seen imbalance, once you've identified it, you'll always be able to identify it. Right, let's leave that there. Got a bit up there as well, look. Just there. See that one there? This wick there, and the body of the candle there. So we're going to put imbalance on that. That's him. I like to try and get the text in line if I can. Somewhere about that. It's alright. Euro USD. So we're currently 12.58. So we've got 15 minutes yet before we need to put our trend lines on. So we've got plenty of time. So you can see our price on this one. The price went up. Price went up, and then price came down again. Okay, so had price not come down, then all this buy would have been imbalanced. But of course, this has now all been mitigated pretty much straight away. So even though you look at that and you think, oh, it's a nice bit of imbalance, but it's been mitigated by this. And again, imbalance can be called fair value gaps or whatever you want to call them. They're all the same thing. Okay, and that's one of the things about trading. You get some traders they use different or slightly different terminology. And when you're first learning, it can kind of throw you off balance a little bit. Okay, so let me just turn this off. This is what happens. You see, I've no internet for now, well, 4 or 5 days, and now everything comes in at once. So, yeah. This looks alright. No. Right, so look at. Did we look at GBP CAD? A little bit of imbalance down there. Just around here. Sometimes don't really bother too much about putting imbalance on when it's near the where the price is or where the market is active, because the chances are I'll take it out pretty soon anyway. But at least it can give you a little bit of indication of where price may want to go. But the thing is with imbalance, we don't know exactly. We don't know when it's going to get taken out. We know it needs to get taken out, but we don't know when. If we knew when, then we'd have the secrets to trading. Okay, GBP USD. And again, when you go through these pairs, you'll see similar patterns. You can see that similar pattern from before, where price came down all the way down here and then took it out. Price has come down to there. So do we have any imbalance? No, not really, because we haven't got a third. There's your first, which is all covered, and our third is here, so we need both, the 1 and 3. Okay, remember that roof tile analogy that I always give? Okay, we've only got two roof tiles on there. We need right, so look at this, a little bit there, see what I mean? So let me just show you that. So you've got no coverage from the back from here, and you've got no coverage from the front there. Okay, so that is imbalance. Okay, from that wick, the bottom, to just there, like that. Okay. And that's about it for that. Okay. Right, so we're on the 15-minute time frame. We've got our imbalance on. I'm going to put our dashed line on, and that's going to go on 1300. And what that's going to do is just going to identify the start of the session for this particular strategy. 2 trend lines go on. And again, I put the trend lines on the 15-minute time frame as well. Top one is green. And then I'll show you what we're going to do. Essentially, we're just going to put the trend lines on at 13:15, which is 13 minutes away. And again, that's real simple to do. So, put our vertical line on the 1300. Couple of trend lines. And once I've done this for all pairs, we'll go and have a look at those points of interest. Euro USD. Right, okay, that's all the preliminary stuff done. So let's go and have a look at those points of interest. And the thing is, with the points of interest, you may ask, well, do you put them on a 2-minute time frame or the 15-minute? Well, generally, they work on both. Okay, let's go and put a horizontal ray. So you see all this little cluster here, this little price cluster. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And what I tend to do, what can happen, what I tend to do sometimes is I'll wait until price is going in a certain direction and then put the points of interest on, because they can put them in a place that is more conservative. And what sometimes happens, if prices, if I look at this right now, let me give you an example. If I look at this right now and I say, okay, we've got the wicks up here, okay, and they've touched the wicks. You can see they've touched it from sort of there all the way across. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. Okay, so if we put the horizontal ray on, okay, so the wicks have touched it, okay, and if we move down, we've got the body, okay, so now we've got touches here, all the way across, and obviously all the way over to here, okay. So look at the top of that wick, look at the top of this wick here, okay, perfectly in line with a lot of these. So again, it's a point of interest. If we were above that line and we were coming for a conservative take profit, as long as we can get 1 to 2, that would be a good take profit level, because it's conservative. We're not leading with our optimism bias, thinking, oh, you know, well, it wicked to there, but the body came down to there, and we've got wicks down to here, so I'm going to take a profit down to here. Okay, it's no good doing that. We've got to be up. We've got to be pessimistic in what we do, and we've got to weigh things up in the way that that we know. So we've got to be pessimistic in terms of doing it, but we need our 1 to 2. So with this strategy, we need a minimum of a 1 to 2 ratio, 1 to 2 win ratio, and we need to be conservative. All right. So this is a kind of ideal area. But I'll tell you what we'll do on today's session. We will put the we'll put the points of interest on when we're interested in looking at a trade. Okay, depending on the direction, because sometimes, to be quite honest, you can have too many lines on your chart and you don't know whether you're coming or going when you're looking at your chart, when you have lines everywhere and everything makes sense, okay, but you get to a point where you don't actually trade. So let's just leave that off for now. Yeah, let's leave that off for now. Right, so let's just make sure we've got everything on. So again, points of interest really are where price went to previously. Okay, where are the higher highs? Where are the lower lows? Okay, where did it break structure? You know, and that sort of thing. And what you'll find is, if you put a line on a certain, if you're brand new and you're looking at the charts right now, and nothing will really make sense, because your brain needs to kind of make sense of it. As soon as you put like a trend line on, or horizontal ray, or a line somewhere, and you line it up, then you go, oh, there's a pattern there. There's a pattern of commonality. What's happening there? Why is price doing that? Why is price doing that at a certain time every single day? You know, and this is what happens, and we start to form patterns within certain pairs, within certain strategies, and by doing that, we understand the relationship of the pair with the market and politics and everything else. So it's weighing up a lot of different factors, and as soon as you start making sense of what's actually going on and why price reacts in a certain way, you'll be much better off. All right. One thing we haven't done yet, we haven't checked the news, so let's go to my FX book. We'll go there, my FX book. I prefer my FX book compared with with Forex Factory, but I'll check both anyway. Bear in mind, it's Monday afternoon or Monday morning, so markets will be fairly slow, probably a little bit sluggish. Right, okay, so news. Low impact on the euro, low impact on USD, but there is quite a lot of USD news. USD, a little bit on the CAD. So we'll see what happens. Something will happen. 1330 US is always something happens. But yeah, 1400. Actually, by the time this news kicks in at 1600, which is 4 p.m. UK time, we may not even be trading. We might have finished for the day. Right, let's go and have a look at Forex Factory. It's telling us GBP 12 o'clock. That's gone. So you see, it's just in comparison to my FX book, this is pretty rubbish, but it's always worth checking. There we go. So in terms of the strategy, how do we do the strategy? Well, you've seen how we put the trend lines on. I'm going to show you that in 5 minutes at 13:15. We've got the imbalance on, and let me talk you through. So if you look at this, the straightforward Forex, my trading team, my community that I'm with, developed this particular, well, not only the strategy, but also the indicator. So what we're looking for wave ups or wave downs. Okay, so currently, if you look at this, we're in a wave down. Okay, so wave down, that gives us an idea. Okay, have a look for sells. Next thing, we've got the PSAR, which is the parabolic stop and reverse, and this gives us indication of trend direction. So when we've got a dot on the top, we're looking at getting price to get pushed down. And generally, if we look at the bigger gap between the PSAR and the top of the candle, we're looking at more volume, if you like, or more expectation of a sell or a continuance of that sell. Okay, the other thing, you see these waves here, these little wave candles. Okay, so these are green, these are going down for red. Okay, they're going down for red, and also they're getting bigger as well. Okay, so again, another confirmation of the sell. Also, the moving average. I know I don't really talk a lot about the moving averages, but I do use them all the time. So we've got the white, which is the 5. We've got the yellow, which is the 13. The green here, which is the 62, and also the blue at the top, which is the 200. And essentially, what we're going to be doing is, if we're going to look for a sell, we want all these EMAs to line up in the right combination. Okay, in the combination that I've just shown you. Okay, starting with the smallest to the biggest, and you can do the opposite when you're going for buys. Okay, so moving averages really important, and they also form support and resistance when we're looking at price action. And finally, we've got the Wadarata, which gives us the histogram, and again, the dark red shows us a strong signal. Okay, the pinky red, a weaker one. By the same token, the dark green and the light green mean the same things. We've got the explosion line, okay, which is here, and also this zone in blue, okay, which is called the dead zone. We call it the dead zone. And you can see how it's flashing now. Okay, it went from pink, it sort of flashed like it was a stronger. But again, these are all lagging indicators. It all tells you what's happening with the price at the time. Okay, so they're just additional confirmations of what's happening. Okay, so it's good to have. And if the explosion line, what we want is the line to be moving away from the dead zone. Okay, if it's in the dead zone like this, then we just leave it alone. Okay, see how this price kind of went down. Okay, we wouldn't really bother getting in until price is moving away from the dead zone. Okay, and then again, we can then consider whether the sell is worth it or not based on this particular price action. And as you can see, in this instance, it wasn't. Okay, but yeah, you can see that that's gone dark now. Okay, the price is moving away. The explosion line is moving away from the dead zone. Okay, and if we're going to get in this, well, it depends. But right now with this strategy, we're a minute away from putting the trend lines on. And the trend lines just mean that when we put the trend lines on, we're looking for price to go above the green for buys and below the red for sells. Okay, and also based on a few other variants as well. So what have we got now? A few more seconds left. So all I'm doing when I put these trend lines on is I'm looking at the 1300 candle. I'm looking for the higher high next to this one, which is the one right next to it. So I'll put my magnet tool on, get my buy trend, put it straight on top of that, okay? And I'm looking for the lower low next to this one. Well, it's wicked down to here. So where is the lower low? Okay, there isn't one. Okay, not this. This is the start of the session for today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this right on here. Okay, and this needs to go, if I make it a bit smaller, this needs to go level. It needs to go flat, level, okay? So I'll click it, click on shift, and it puts it straight on. All right. And from here, we want to go on top of the next wick. See there? Just on top of that wick there. That's it. Okay, so that's them. We'll put it on the 2-minute time frame, and we'll just monitor that as we go. Right, so Euro USD. So the higher high is the one next to it. Magnet tool's already on. Now I want to come down on top. See, there's no actual wick there. I don't know if you can see that. There's no wick. Okay, maybe there is a tiny wick. No, there's no wick. Didn't think there was, but I had to check. So what we do is we put the trend line in the middle of the body, like that. Okay, that's us done. Okay, similar situation, lower low. Oh yeah, that's a lower low there. I was going to say I thought it was no lower low, but lower low is there, and I'm going to put that just on the bottom of there. So it's not very much of an incline, but that's where we're at. So we'll put that on the 2 minutes. GBP CAD. Power magnet tool on. The higher high next to this one is the one right next to it. Okay, the lower low here is this green one. It's down here, you see that one? That's it. So put a trend line on the bottom of the wick, and this trend line goes on the body because there's no actual wick. That's it. 2 minutes. Excuse me. So a lot of people ask, do you have to be absolutely precise with the trend line? And the answer is, well, no, you don't. But when you're trading and the price is respecting the trend line, it gives you a bit more confidence as to whether that trend line is in the right position. Some people get quite, technical about it. Okay, the lower low next to this one here. If you put your crosshairs on, you can just see the crosshair. So if you look at the crosshair and then follow it left, and you can see, oh yeah, the lower low is there. It meets it there. Just here, okay. Put that on the wick, and then put this one. Yeah, again, no wick, so just on the body. Okay. Yeah, so you don't have to be. It's not a perfect science putting trend lines on. So what you do is you use a little bit of, you just build up that experience. So if you put, let's say for instance we put a trend line on here, right, going up, right, like this. Let's make it green so we know it's so we're looking at that. Okay, where is most relevant for this, okay, in terms of what we're doing. Okay, so what you're looking for is lots of hits, okay. So kind of would have hit there, missed all this, and so you're thinking, well, okay, is that trend line really relevant, or is it better if it was up here? Something like that. You know, or there. You know, depends what you're doing and what price action you're looking at. But you know, if you put a trend line on, and the price respects the trend line, it gives you a bit of confidence. So I've always found if you just follow the steps that I've just shown you, price will respect that trend line well enough, okay, to trade accurately. So what's happening here? We've got price going above the green trend line. So immediately our little alarm bells are going to go off, saying, "Oh look, buy." But we've also got the green, okay, the green moving average. The green 62. Okay, so we're going to just have a look, just have a little wait, see what's going to happen, because this could either be support or resistance. It can do either. It can either bounce or break. Okay, what our ATAR is telling us that, yeah, okay, you've got some strength in the market. We're just coming out of this dead zone, but currently the explosion line is kind of, if you can just see that, it's just starting to tail up a little bit, which tells us that, you know, it could be a good buy, you know, or it's favouring that. Put our straightforward on. So where are we? We're currently in a wave down still. So really, we don't want to be doing anything until the wave down turns into a wave up. So we're just going to sit on hands right now. Okay, let's go back to GBP CAD. So again, with GBP CAD, we're in a wave up. Sorry, our price has gone above the green trend line. Okay, in terms of the, I should really have had that on already. So we're still in a wave down look, wave down, and you can see the zone, this wave zone here, still all red. Okay, hasn't changed yet. It may well change, but currently we're still in a downtrend. What are ATAR doing? Very similar things as GBP USD. So again, we'll just sit and wait. And also, if you look at the position of the 200 moving average, okay, the 200 moving average is going to be a resistance zone right now. Okay, so if we're going to take a trade here, we've really only got like 3 pips to bargain with, and then you look at things like spread. You know, you haven't got anything in there at all. Okay, so again, we're just going to wait. Right, Euro USD. So let's go and put our straightforward Forex indicator on. So it's telling us there's a wave up. Okay, well that's nice. We're above the green trend line. The PSAR is underneath and it's green. Okay, we're away from the explosion. The explosion line is moving up, and we're away from the dead zone. However, similar situation. We've got the green moving average and also the blue. So both 62 and 200 moving averages are against us right now. Well, they're not against us. They're just telling us, hang on, boy, hang on. Don't get into a trade yet. Don't get excited. I know it's gone above the green trend line, but what does it mean? Okay, well look, see how price has wicked up to the green. Okay, because it's acting as a support zone. All right, and also the 200 moving average will also act as a support zone. So if we measure this from where it is now, bearing in mind it's at the pivot right now. So let's go from there. Again, 2.93 pips. We just leave it alone, because what we want is price to go up, break through the 200 moving average and give us some clear air. If it gets into this clear air, then we go, okay, where could price potentially go? And that's when we put our points of interest on. Okay, our little blue line. So could this potentially be a point of interest? Well, yeah, it could be. Okay, up there could be as well. Okay, what have we got further back? Okay, there we go, that's more relevant. Okay, so this area here, I would say, would be a point of interest, just on there. Now again, if we're looking for buys and we want to be going on the slightly pessimistic side, or should we use, I don't know if I should use that word, on the realistic side. Okay, I'm going to take it from the top. I'm looking at this wick here. Okay, why not take it to the bottom of that wick there? Okay, which then takes us to the top of these, which takes us to the just below there, and maybe even taking it below here. Okay, to there. That's what I'm looking at. And then again, potential take profits from here. Where would you get? You still only got 8 pips. It's not great. Okay. And again, the main thing to consider when you get into a trade is your stop loss, and can you get a 1 to 2 based on where your stop loss is. And that's the most important thing. Pips don't matter. Okay. You can do very well taking 10 pips every single day. Okay, with a 2% account growth. So let's have a look at the Euro CAD, see what he's doing. And again, as I said before, remember it's Monday. It's Monday afternoon and Monday morning in New York, so the markets are going to be slow. They're going to be waking up. So let's just put out, straightforwards on. We're currently in we're still in a wave down. Look, still in a wave down. We're still spinning around this downtrend here. Our green trend line is here, so the green trend line is acting as resistance right now, as you can see here. Okay, and again, look at what we've got to get through. Okay, we're going to get through the green moving average, the blue moving average. We're going to get through the pivot. We've got resistance here from the imbalance. There's a lot to get through. So again, Euro CAD, is there a trade? Maybe a sell. Okay, maybe a continuation of this sell, but right now we're playing the long game with this. Playing the long game with this one. Right, let's go back to GBP USD. Similar sort of situation. As you can see how price is, I hope you can see that all right. Price is still stalling around the 62 level, because again it's resistance, and yes, we're above the green trend line, but that's only kind of one indication of where we are. We've got imbalance here, which looks like it's old. Did I put that on at the start of the sesh? Well, if I did, it's been mitigated if it has. Turn it off. Do we have any imbalance to a lower bit? No. So again, we're just waiting, and the position you don't want to be in is, I need to take a trade. I want to get in a trade today because I need that feeling, that boost, the feeling of taking a trade and being successful. I want to be successful. Okay, because if you do all that sort of thing, you're just going to fail. You're just going to blow accounts. Okay, remember it's Monday morning, everything's waking up. If you don't take a trade, you don't take a trade. Okay, But as I've always been told when I first started doing this, it's better to be out of a trade wishing you were in than being in a trade wishing you'd never got in the first place, wishing you were just totally out. Okay. Believe me, I've been there many times. Right, so GBP CAD. So GBP CAD might be setting up for a sell. Might be. So right here, this is the pivot line. Okay. So we've gone through the pivot line. What I always like to look at is, has price gone through the pivot line during the trading session? Okay, and it has. Okay, it's gone through it. Okay, so potentially, if we looked at this, if you look at this area of resistance, okay, on this pivot line, price could come down to the pivot line and possibly continue to these lower lows here. Okay, but again, we don't know that. We don't predict. We can just react to the market. So currently, right now, is probably what 2-minute time frame is probably what, a couple of pips in there. Okay, but down to here, you've got like 70 odd pips. Okay, to the next pivot line. Or should we just look at those lower lows on the 15-minute? No, we wouldn't be looking at the next pivot line. We'll be looking at, again, conservatively. Yes, it wicked down to here. I'm just looking at this little area here and this area here. Okay, because they kind of correlate each other. But conservatively, we'd want to take it to about there. So we look at the wick. That's the extreme. We look at the body. We're still slightly optimistic with that. And I've taken it to the next body here. Okay, let me just make that a bit bigger so you can see it. The next body here, and then just took it in a little bit, even down to here, even down this level here. This, this is probably a more sensible level, and then we can see what we're playing with. So let's just see what we're playing with. So from where we'd want to get past the pivot into clean air, and then we'd want to go somewhere about here. I don't know, I'm just guessing right now. But from here to there, sort of 9-10 pips. Again, it all depends on where you're going to put your stop loss. But from where price is right now, I would want my stop loss to be above above this line. Watch price. Price is going to hit this, and it's going to hit a ceiling and bounce. Okay. May well go all the way through, but look, see, it's hit the ceiling and it's bounced it, okay, because this trend line is resistance. Now, I said before at the start of the session, how do you know your trend line's in the right position? This kind of gives you a really good confirmation and a bit of confidence that your trend line's in the right place. So that's bounced, all right. So if I was going to put a stop loss in, I would probably put the stop loss. My first thing would be put it above the trend line, okay. And generally what I've found with this strategy, about 7 pips on average is nice for a 1-to-2 ratio. Okay, this is the last engulfing candle, so this would be more safe, or should we say safer. But again, it depends where price is when you decide to go in for a trade. All right. So we'll just watch that, see what happens. But right now it's not ready. It's not ready for anything. But this is kind of what we've got going on right now, and depend on, even though we've got this as a take profit, if price came down quite significantly, we could maybe then say this is take profit 1, and other areas of interest, depending on price action over time, can be take profit 2 and 3 and so on. Okay, Euro USD, and look at this, it's just asleep. We talk about the markets waking up. This keeps hitting the snooze button. All right, what we've got right now, if I put this on, is we've just got consolidation. If you even put it down to there, consolidation, which means no. In fact, we'll just take that consolidation here. Nothing's really happening. It's all a bit sleepy. See that? Nothing's happening. So what we want is a significant push out of this box, and then we can look at the trend line. But right now, where the trend lines is, I know this is starting to get a bit busy. Okay, let's take that off. All right, so we've got the green trend line, and it just starts to cross over the red one at this point here. Okay, so this area here is what we call no man's land. Nothing is really happening. It's like having a piece of steel in between two magnets of opposite polarity. Okay, it's being pushed and pulled in different directions. It doesn't really know where it wants to go. Okay, so that's kind of what we've got going on here. Price doesn't know where it wants to go or what it wants to do. Okay, we've got support and resistance from the trend lines, from both of them. We've got the moving averages up here, and price isn't really doing anything. Okay, so in terms of the news, we've got news at 2 o'clock. Euro news. All right, let's have a look at the euro. So 2 o'clock, something could maybe happen, potentially. Okay, where are we going? Here. 1400, and I've just got a little thing that says news. Okay. And just generally low impact news. So something may well happen, but currently nothing's happening at all. So I'm just going to leave that. Euro CAD. What's happened with Euro CAD? Okay, nothing. It went past the red trend line, so we thought maybe it could be setting up for a sell. The Wadaratar was showing slightly positive moves, but only small volume, and then it sort of went back to the upside. But what you'll find is this area now is going to be support and resistance. So resistance coming down, broke it through, acts as support for the sell, and then now it's acting as resistance for the buy, and then acting as support for the buy, and then resistance once it gets past it anyway. You know what I mean? So when the green trend line goes past it, that becomes support. When it goes below it, or when it tries to, right now it's resistant because it's trying to get through it. Okay, but again, still looking at the previous chart, we're still in no man's land. Okay, crossovers here. Okay, we've got this area here of kind of no man's land, so you don't want to be getting involved really in anything until price breaks away in one direction, and it's more likely to break away to the downside. Or no, let me say that again. We're going to be more interested in a sell when price comes down here, if it ever does. Okay, because we've got clear air, right? Clear air. We want to be jumping out of an aeroplane into a field, okay, not onto a housing estate. All right, this is cluttered with all sorts of nasties on the way where you can get caught on. Okay, want to be nice and clear. Okay, moving down, and again, this area of this pivot, okay, is a nice area. Okay, did price previously come down? It will have at some point. So if it did, we'll be looking at somewhere in the region of 26, 27 pips. It gives us a nice run. Okay. So we'll come back to that. Did we look at Euro CAD? Yeah, this is Euro CAD. Euro USD consolidation. Nothing happening. Boring. Okay, GBP CAD. What's happening with that? That's the 15 minute time frame. Let's put it back on for 2 minutes. So it's gone above the green trend line. Okay, the Wadaratar, even though volume is small, it's showing us that it's dark green, but the explosion line is kind of meh, moving down. Nothing's really happening. Okay. The PSARs are still red. Okay, so for those PSARs to change colour, see the dots, for those PSARs to change colour, price needs to come up and hit that PSAR, and the PSAR will then flip, and it'll be green. And again, that's another factor, another probability that price is going to go in the direction. And we've also got these moving averages. The 200 is here, okay, and the 62 is there as well. So again, areas of support and resistance, or should we say resistance. So price comes up, okay, it goes to the 200 moving average. The 200 moving average is resistance. If we look at how many pips have we got in that, okay, so in about 7.5 pips, price will hit that, it'll resist it, it'll bounce off, it could break, but we don't know what's going to happen. Then we've got 11.2 pips to the green, okay, then we've got 16.3 pips to the imbalance, and sometimes I've found that the bottom and the tops of imbalance can be support and resistance, but generally when price breaks out of that zone or into that zone, sometimes you can tell that it wants to take the imbalance out, okay, and then probably it'll go up to the pivot. But if we were going to get into this, we'll just have a look at the time. I've looked near the time. We're scalping, but we want the least amount of drama going forward. We don't want to be getting in the trade going, God. So a lot of people do, shout at the screen. I think it's like leaning, when you go around a corner in a car. I lean. That's better. Makes the car handle better. So you can see how the price went up. It touched that red PSAR, okay? And it's now flipped the PSAR underneath. It's now green, okay? So again, it's another probability that the price is going for the buy, but there are so many things in the way. We just wouldn't get in a trade right now. So just wait, right? So GBP USD, same sort of thing. And again, when you get days like this, I'm not saying that days like this happen this is a Monday. I think I said this before, don't try and think, don't just say, I want to get in a trade. Don't. Just don't. Okay? If stuff isn't lining up, if the charts are saying don't get in, then don't get in. Don't just get in. You're not buying a pair of shoes on eBay, okay? You're not trying to click that auction, okay? That's a similar feeling when you click that $25. I'm the highest bidder. Oh, I'm the highest bidder, okay? And then suddenly somebody outbids you. It's like, damn. But what's that feeling like when you bid for those pair of shoes and you win it? It's like, yes, got those shoes, okay? But what happens when you start bidding and you start paying too much for it, okay? And somebody bidding against you? That's not a good position to be in. Sometimes similar sort of things can happen on the markets. We know we shouldn't really get in a trade. We know that the price isn't definitive, but we get in anyway because we want the feeling. We want the feeling of thinking we're good and we can win, okay, and we can make some money today. And that is all emotions. And you want to take emotions out of trading completely and just be very, grow a beard. That's the way to do it, okay? When I was a kid, people who grew beards, pretty boring, like computers, pretty awkward. Okay, do that. Grow a beard. Okay, yeah, nothing out. I mean, you can see on this one, we're above the green trend line, okay? We've got the green PSAR. We've got the Wadar is showing as it's now pale green, and also the explosion line is moving back into the dead zone. So it's kind of telling us, nah, that's what it's doing. Okay, nah, really. We've got in terms of pippage, 7.1 pips to the 200, 10 to the 62, and we've got 15 to there. So again, there's a few things in the way. GBP USD. So for you people who've got teenagers in bed, okay, and you're trying to get them out of bed. Oh, you get up for school, get up for college, okay. This price action is kind of doing that right now. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out. There's a bit more. I'm going to stay in bed a bit longer. I don't really want to do anything today. I'm bored. That's kind of what this price action is doing, okay. Whereas if you look at, sort of, price action here from earlier, this is this morning, okay, kind of nice move to the upside, okay. Right, let's go back to Euro CAD. No, nothing happening. Price is going into consolidation, and yes, we've got the news at 1400. Let's put that on there. Or was it 15? 14. On TradingView, you do get little icons to tell you about the news, but I don't rely on those because they come on with high impact, but not really much else. So I'll just put these on. Okay, put your little vertical line on, and set it as a template. Put a bit of text on it. There you go. Now, I mean, I suppose I could even colour those. So the low impact was green and so on. High impact will show on your TradingView. But still, if you're a visual person like me and you like to see things like, this is why I put imbalance on the when I write it on. It's just because I'm visual, and that's what I like to do. So helps me. Right. So again, nothing really happening. And again, we're still in this dead zone. Okay, still dead. Okay, so we've still got piece of metal in between two magnets of opposing polarity. Doesn't really know. And you say it's starting to go above. Okay, so even though, said that, what sometimes happens that when price starts to go above, even if price shot up all the way to here, if price was still dragging its feet, if we still had wicks still touching this trend line, okay, we still wouldn't be interested. We'd want clear air, or a nice gap, bigger the gap the better, between the trend line and either the wick or the body of the candle. So that's really important as well. Yeah, nothing happening there. Euro USD, even less happening there. GBP CAD, no, nothing happening. GBP USD, nothing happening again. Okay, let's wait. Some traders, they don't even bother trading Monday, and sometimes they don't even bother trading Friday afternoon. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, typically the best times for trading. But you'll get to know. Like this morning, if you look at the markets this morning, there was plenty of stuff going on. Okay. And if you look at this we've got the wave up, we've got the PSARs, we've got, if you were in a trade in here, for example, let's say you got in just after this wave up, okay, and you stayed in, okay, again, potentially you could have taken, 30 pips, thereabouts, okay. So that was the pound USD, so that was the open of the London session. And I say I missed the London session this morning at 6 because the internet was off still. So disappointing, to say the least. But it's always nice to, even though it's Monday morning, even though this session right now is Monday, it's still nice to go through the strategy. It's still nice to go through the session and to show you, okay, this is what happens on a Monday. If you don't take a trade because it's Monday, then you don't take a trade. You just wait, okay? You can wait till later, you can wait, it depends on your strategy. If you're doing the Crossfire strategy, then we've got 2 sessions a day. We can look at tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. UK time, and then again at 1 p.m. UK time, okay? And you can go and check your phone if you're going to trade on your phone. I don't recommend trade on your phone because I just don't like it personally. Some people love it, some people think it's great, but certainly doing analysis on your phone is now impossible. I just prefer using the desktop, and at least I know where I am. It makes me feel comfortable. I never feel comfortable doing anything on the phone. Not even sending a text like that. Trying to send a text with these fingers. It don't work. It's not compatible. Right, let's have a look. GBP USD. Right, yeah, so Euro CAD. Absolutely nothing really happening at all. 1 o'clock candle. Nothing. Euro USD is the same situation. GBP CAD. Right, we've just gone over the hour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off. If anything significant happens, I will jump back on. But again, you've got a session there where you can practice putting on your imbalance, you can practice putting on your points of interest, but more importantly, you practice patience and you practice when not to get in, okay? And just being completely emotionally neutral, if that's the word. Okay, I know plenty of women know that word, but emotionally neutral. So it's a good practice. It's good practice to get into and look at the charts and go, no, nothing's happening, let's walk away, okay? Rather than take a trade and then just mess up, okay? Because you can't. When you're in this situation, you can get in a trade if your emotions take over, and suddenly you're going, why did I take that trade? I lost out and there was nothing there. Okay, so just don't do that. Anyway, if you got some value from this, please give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I say it's a brand new channel, so you may be one of the first subscribers. So I really appreciate you supporting my channel, support the videos and everything else. Just make more videos. So hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.